Okay, folks, we are coming back, and I am blessed to have Janine, oh gosh, you know,
Turner.
Every time I do this, I'm just a blogger, not a radio guy. Janine Turner and her daughter, who has just written a new book, let's see if I can put this up, Our Constitution Rocks. It's a much thicker book, and we're going to talk about this for a little bit. And
Juliette Turner's her name.
Juliette Turner, and yeah, I'm going to have to write this down. All of a sudden, the AFP guy comes, you want to talk to these people? Well, sure.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we had the opportunity.
And I want to say thank you for taking a few minutes with Granite Rock, New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site.
Great.
So I'm looking at this going, and looking at you and looking back at that and go, wow, I can't do that.
Oh, thank you.
What's the impetus for writing the book?
Well, 3 years ago, my mother sat down on the hammock with me and she said, we're going to read the Constitution. And so that really started to get me interested in the Constitution, the want to learn more. And then my mother started Constituting America, and I became the National Youth Director. And through this process, I saw how little my generation really knows about the Constitution. And so I found that it's really important that my generation knows about the Constitution. And so I wrote a book based on a forum in Constituting America, a 90-day forum, where I wrote fun fact essays for kids, breaking down the 90th segment of the Constitution. And so I have 90 chapters in my book, and each has 6 headings. The bottom line, which is a one-line explanation. What were they thinking? Why our founding fathers wrote this?
I'm sitting here going, I'm so old and I didn't do this. Wow.
Well, she worked diligently on it. She really did.
I'm impressed. Juliette, I have to ask, how old are you?
I'm 14.
I feel so unworthy.
Oh, no.
This is for the listeners and watchers on Granite Rock right now. You folks were just introduced to me 30 seconds ago. Didn't know you were coming.
Right.
So I've had no chance to pre-read the book, and I'm looking at this going, oh my gosh.
Well, it's important, you know, I'm glad to be speaking on the panel here today for Americans for Prosperity. It's exciting to be doing that. And her book is even good for adults because it has the bottom line, which is a one-line reference. The other day I was on O'Reilly, because I'm on the O'Reilly Factor every Friday, and we were talking about Harry Reid's outlandish remarks about Romney not paying his taxes, which were blatantly untrue, and how Harry Reid used this on the Senate floor, where he has immunity thanks to the Constitution.
Correct.
Article 1, Section 6, Clause 1. And so all we have to do is flip through here to Juliette's book, and you go, oh, Article 1, Clause 1, Section 1. And it has a one-liner about what that means. So it's for kids, but it's great for adults because it's kind of a clip notes. But it's fun, too, because a lot of kids think, well, what has it done for me lately? You know. So well, she explains that, too.
And, you know, you bring up a very important point, and it's been many decades now since I've been in the level of classes that you are in the government schools. The question is, how much of this did they teach you there, or is this all self-directed research?
Well, I think the schools are so busy today with teaching math and science and history, so they really don't have a lot of time to be teaching civics, which is shameful because civics and government is so important today. But really, my learning about the Constitution came from my mother and what my mother taught me. And so I think the parents really have a big role in teaching their kids patriotism, the love of country, and knowledge about the Constitution.
And I'm curious because this is an ongoing thing where I keep telling conservatives that we have ceded the educational market to the liberals. And of course, in order, you know, with progressives, and we are just to give you a little bit of context, we write from a conservative libertarian standpoint, very constitutionally oriented, and co-founding members of the New Hampshire Tea Party Coalition. So this is a big deal for us in New Hampshire. It's a big movement to go back to the Constitution. And every time we talk about laws or what government's trying to do, we're quoting either the U.S. Constitution or the even more protective of individual liberty and freedoms, the New Hampshire Constitution, which Article 10 guarantees us the right of revolution against an unjust government.
There you go. Well, and we were talking about as well, Article 4, Section 4 talks about that each state is guaranteed a Republican form of government. So it's phenomenal and so incredibly relevant, and that's why I started my foundation, Constituting America. And we have, you know, a 90-day forums for adults, but we also have it's a great contest for kids because I'm an actress, and what I've decided to do is to do something different with the Constitution that's different than what anybody else is doing. doing, which is let's take the kids and try to absorb the Constitution into the culture. So we're asking kids to do best short film, like Sundance Film Festival, and best song, like American Idol, and best commercial, and best speech, things of that nature. And these kids get free trips to Philadelphia, and they get to star in a documentary, and they get their music video done, and they win cash prizes. So it's really fun
neat.
for the kids. Yeah,
that's neat. You know, you've seen a resurgence in the Constitution, interest, learning it, and then living it. So this comes out at a time when, you know, I think one of the things that has spurred this on is that little video done on CNS News of Nancy Pelosi when asked, well, where in the Constitution is Obamacare allowed? And she goes, are you serious? Are you really serious? I mean, that's become one of the memes on the right side.
And we have to read it to find out what's in it. And one of the initiatives, I have a radio show too, by the way. And
by all means.
Well, it's in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's 570 KLIF, and one of the things I'm talking about, and I write a column for PJ Media, and one of the things that I've been working on, I think your audience may be interested in, is called the Truth Act, and I'm going to take it to the halls of Congress, probably when they return, where we start. I think the legislature, the People's House, has lost the confidence of the American people because the laws are so voluminous, and that's in Federalist Paper 62 it's a discrepancy whether it's James Madison or Alexander Hamilton, where they say if the laws are so voluminous that they cannot be read, or so incoherent that they cannot be understood, what's the point of having a Republican form of government? So I have a Truth Act, and what I want to do is the T stands for limiting the pages to 30 to 300 pages.
Absolutely.
Or they have to read it, our congressmen and women and senators. U, they have to understand it. T, they have to testify under oath that they have read it and they understand it. And H is that they go in front of Ustream and read the bill to us months before they vote on it. Read it to us on Ustream. So it becomes very obvious how the dog ears, the complications, the lawyerese, the lawyer tech, that they try to learn to simplify these bills so that the people can once again understand what our legislators were trying to do. And in the process, I think it'll curb it. So if anyone's interested, they should go to JanineTurner.com and check out the op-ed that I have there.
And later on, when I'll be heading home to New Hampshire later on today, I'll be doing some write-up, and I'm certainly going to link that up, because it was about 3 weeks ago, a month and a half ago, Rand Paul, the U.S. Senator from Kentucky, had that famous rant of getting the 600-page bill that morning, and they had a vote on it that afternoon.
Yeah, right.
At that point, Congress has made itself irrelevant, yet it's supposed to be the most important branch of the three. And we've been saying for a while in New Hampshire, at least I have, a lot of people seem to agree with me, that Congress, both the House and the Senate, have made themselves irrelevant in that they pass these laws. And even if they pass it without reading it, most of what's in there says the executive branch will do such and such, or decide such and such. Like with Obamacare, the Health and Human Services Secretary will decide this, that, or something else mandated. So at that point, we're moving in away from the Constitution. I love this title, Our Constitution Rocks.
It does.
It does. But it says we're abandoning our power and letting the progressives get to their end state, which is the administrative state.
Because it's so out of control.
Unelected, unaccountable,
Czars.
unapproachable, and unassailable
lawyers.
bureaucrats.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page.
We are.
Yeah.
You read what we're about, we're definitely on
Very
there.
good. Well, I'm so glad to
of-
hear of some conservatives in New Hampshire, so go.
Oh, yes, there are. And I know that they're going to be moving you along because you're a hot commodity here on Radio Row.
Oh, it's great to be speaking with you.
Well, I would like to be able to have you on to do some more interviews.
Yeah.
And Juliette, what I'd like to be able to do is to read the book
Yay.
and then interview you.
That'd be wonderful.
Yes, great. This is a galley. This is not the official final corrected proof.
Okay.
So if you want the corrected, it's available for pre-order now on Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
And it's going to be released in all bookstores across the country. It's published by Zondervan.
When?
September 4th, just in time for Constitution Day.
And just before the election coming up.
Yeah. So she'd love to come back on the show, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
I much appreciate you coming by and spending a few minutes with Granite Rock.
Yay,
much
keep
for
it up.
having
All righty. Take care, folks.
Bye.
Croc TV.